Hey YouTube, how is it going this last day in August of 2021? In this video, I want to show you the best looking swing trades that I saw setting up today. Alright, well, if you are new to my channel, what I like to talk about the most here is swing trading. And if you're not familiar with what swing trading is, it is a holding period from a couple of days to about a couple of weeks. What I'm looking to do is try to catch these little swings here, try to catch a quick 10, 15, 20% or more. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon, because in every single video, I like to show you swing trades that are setting up right now. And if you would like to support the channel, we have a Patreon link down there in the description. For a measly $10, you can see what we are trading in real time. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor. All this is just my opinion. Please make all of your own trading decisions, etc., etc., etc. But let's get into this first chart, and this one is WORX Corporation, ticker symbol WORX. I actually bought this one today. What I'm looking to do is try to catch the next swing in this one, and what I look for is a breakdown between below a support area, and then a move right back up above that 8-period exponential moving average, and then a hold for a couple of days. If that happens, you can usually see a pretty well-defined resistance area on the 15-minute chart, and then I wait for a break. So if we go to that 15-minute chart, back it out a little bit, you can see that it had a nice move up off that bottom, found some resistance right around 285 to 295, started to bounce around for a couple of days and finally had that blast through. Now, how I like to trade these: if I am watching it, I try to catch it on that initial breakthrough resistance. If I don't catch it, which is usually the case because I'm not staring at the charts most often when they break out, I kind of wait for them to pull back to that resistance area, which becomes support, and that's when I like to enter my position. I got in at $2.96. It is at $2.97, so it's still kind of hanging around right where I bought it, but I'm hoping to catch that next move up. And if we go to that daily chart again, you can definitely see that's exactly what happened here. Had a move all the way down to that 50-period simple moving average. That blue line kind of hung around for a couple of days and then blasted above those moving averages and held for a couple of days, and then it was off to the races. So it is actually not really common for a stock to do this 3 times in a row, but I like the way that the volume had been pouring into this one. And actually, if we go to that 15-minute chart, we can see it just a little bit better. You can see how this breakout was accompanied by a lot of volume. So I've been watching this for the last few days or so. Excuse me. And man, I think it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take a shot on this one. I'm going to place my stop below $2.74. So if it breaks down below that, I'll take my small loss and head on to the next one. That's the beautiful thing about swing trading, is if one either breaks down and stops you out or takes off without you, there's no need to sweat it, because the next day there's probably going to be another one, because this is a very abundant setup. But let's go to the next one that I want to talk about, and that is ACB. Let's go back to the daily chart so we can see it a little bit better. You can see the false breakdown in Aurora Cannabis. We had a nice breakdown right around $6.50, then a move right back above that 8-period exponential moving average, and then a hold, and we're actually getting the breakout today. So I missed this one, so I'm going to have to wait for a pullback on this one if I want to catch it. You can definitely see that well-defined resistance area, and then that sharp move above it. You got some higher volume that's coming into it. So if this thing can pull back to about $7.26 or so, I'm going to be pretty interested in taking a position in this one. And you don't have to wait for it to come down to this exact support area. So you can enter a little bit sooner. I like to enter at as close to that support area as possible, because that lowers my risk if we do get an eventual breakdown. And if this one does break down, I'll want to be taking my loss right around, probably call it like $6.85 or so. And then I will move on to the next one. But let's go back to the daily chart. And then let's move on to the next stock that I'm watching, and that is ATOS Therapeutics. You can see ATOS Therapeutics doing a little bit of the same thing right now. This one had a little bit of a false breakdown after holding that 200-period simple moving average. This is more of a saucer bottom, but it's still a very similar pattern. And if we go to the 15-minute chart, we can see it had that nice little saucer rounded bottom formation with a well-defined resistance area. Had a nice break through it, came all the way down to it and already touched it, and I missed it, and it's already starting to take off. Sometimes they'll come back down to it again, so that's why I'm still watching this one. But unfortunately, I was not watching ATOS Therapeutics when it came down to that support area, so that would have been a really nice entry point. And if this thing breaks above 385, that could be the start of the next move up for ATOS. So I'll have to see if I want to chase that one a little bit. I probably won't want to, but if it does come back near that support area, I'm probably going to be probably consider taking a position in this one. Let's go back to the daily chart and then jump over to PXLW. PXLW is a little bit of a different trade. I'll be waiting for this one to come back to this support area and this moving average. This thing has been so strong, so I'm thinking any pullback down to this moving average, this 8-period exponential moving average, is probably going to have a bounce off of it. This one is probably going to be more about more of a day trade on this one. So that's the only caveat with PXLW. If it does come down to that moving average, I'll be looking for a nice 10% bounce or so and just take a quick day trade on that one. If we go to the intraday chart on that one, you can see that is a pretty nice looking support area where it could be coming down to right around $5.75 to $6 or so. So that's what I'm going to be watching on PXLW. Go back to the daily chart and jump to the next one, which is Context Logic Wish. This is the one that I entered yesterday. It's not really doing a whole lot today, but it is still holding above those moving averages, so it is still looking bullish. If we go to that 15-minute chart, you can see it had that well-defined resistance area, then that breakthrough, pulled it back to it, and that's where I entered, and it is just slowly kind of melting up right now. But if this thing can get a quick break above 750, I think this one could be off to the races. And of course, if Context Logic breaks down here below about 684-ish, I think that's where I placed my stop. I'm going to be out of this one and looking for the next one. Next one I want to show you is MNTS. If we look at MNTS, this is momentous. This is the 15-minute chart. We'll start with this one first, but you can see this clear false breakdown, a nice sharp move back up, and then it's making a nice rounded bottom formation, has broken through it, and this one got a little bit away from me, so I'm going to be waiting for this one to pull back to about 975 or so, but just a very nice looking pattern on MNTS. And you can see this one had a nice sharp break above that 8-period exponential moving average and has been holding ever since. So this one looks like it has finally carved out a bottom, and it looks like it has a date with that 50-period simple moving average. That isn't too far away, so it should make it there pretty easily. So a pullback to about 975, and I'm going to be interested in probably taking a position in MNTS. The next one is Next. And if we look at Next, we can see Next did the same exact thing, almost hit that 200-period simple moving average, then a sharp move back above that 8-period exponential moving average and has moving sideways, and it is breaking out today. So going to that 15-minute chart, you can see how nice that pattern is shaping up. So all we need is a pullback down to this support area right around, call it 315 to 320. Don't get too hung up on the exact point where this line is. Think of it more as a support area. I usually like to use these green boxes instead of those white lines, just because I like to look at an area more than just a single price point. So if it pulls back into this box, this is where I'll be interested in taking a position in Next. But Next is a very nice looking pattern at the moment. And last one I want to talk about is MESA. I talked about this one yesterday. I'm still waiting for this one to potentially break out. Had a nice V-shaped bottom back above that 8-period exponential moving average, and it is holding above it again. So this is every day that it holds above that 8-period exponential moving average, that is strength in the stock. So if we go to that 15-minute chart and back it out, definitely see it is a well-defined rounded bottom formation with a nice false breakdown. So a move above 820 to 825 I think is going to be a fantastic entry point for MESA Air Group Incorporated. Just a very nice looking pattern in MESA, and MESA has been going down for a long time. This thing has pulled all the way back from 1750 down to about $7 a share just a couple of days ago, and that's almost a 60% retracement. So this thing is overdue for a bounce up. And that's another good factor you like to see in some of these stocks that are making these rounded bottoms. If they are way overdue for a bounce up, you know, a retracement up just a few dollars is not that big of a retracement, and stocks move around quite a bit. So that's another reason why I am liking MESA right here. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you have any other ones you want me to take a look at, please leave it down there in the comments section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.